Hey, this is Timmara, signing on with some more of Virginia. Okay, so last time we started our second playthrough, going through, the town of Kingdom, trying to figure out what's going on, and trying to, like, piece the story together a little bit better than we got from the first playthrough, and we're already figuring out some new things. Or we're assuming things that feel like they've got more merit than originally we thought. So, picking up again, or we just... Yeah, we just chastised the dad for being creepy. What's that picture? Now that I look at it. Right. Sorry, just going over her thing. So those are her notes. Yeah. So she's getting lunch for our day-long stakeout. Alright. So yeah, Lucas, there was a third picture though. It was like two figures in the light. Don't know what that could have been. Yeah, construction delivery. And again, even doing this detour really isn't giving us any answers. It's just kind of like a thing we've done. Private event. What was that? Yeah, I don't see what relevance that just had. You know, again, the thought is maybe that's the dad of the one kid, but that also doesn't really change anything. So I don't see what the point of that was. Private event. I missed what was being wheeled in. Hey, a bison. That's symbolic of your mom. Seems to be the case. I can't explain. So yeah, she found us out. Did you pay for the gas yet? Technically? I'll start cleaning out one of my earbuds. So back through here. Right? Sorry, we're just going through this again. Try to piece things together a little bit better. Feel like we're partially successful so far. I should turn around. So, yes, at that bar, this is just another dream. Yeah, and if the bird, you know, I've seen some people say, like, the bird is supposed to symbolize Lucas, and so, you know, every time Anne tries to pick it up, it disappears because we're getting farther and farther away from actually solving his case. It's just slipping away from us as more time goes on. Alright, yep, turning around. Another flower. There's another one, okay. All the flowers are in this area. Whatever these do, if anything. Sorry, we're getting through this. So yeah, it's just getting into the base. That's just a rock. Oop. Sorry, I look over to that edge, and it kind of looked like there was, like, a sandwich bag there. Like a big sandwich bag, and they go like, oh, it's just a rock. Okay, then there were like 2 flowers here if they still can be picked up. Was it? Okay. Right, I forgot about that. What was that? It's usually when we see a red light, it's usually about Anne's dad's closet. So maybe that's just her freaking out. Hold on. Sorry, it's all good. Yeah, and then this also confuses me, because... Yeah, there's her pendant. Hold on, I thought there was another flower here. Or am I mistaken? Yeah, I don't know. That red light's confusing because, you know, they start to create a distinction of, like, when Anne is asleep and when there's hallucinations, and now they're kind of bleeding in, and that's making things less clear. Okay, and this is the apartment. Just somebody's room. Yeah, and that also explains why it's like J. Ortega, because this was Judith's, you know, apartment until maybe she died, and just no one changed the name tag. Just look around back in the apartment, seeing if anything's changed. Wait, okay, I thought I saw something pop up. I don't think there was anything there. Okay. I skipped over a couple of things here. So I went to the corner right away, and that was apparently the damning evidence. Plants, yeah, chemicals thing, chemical eye wash and everything. What the heck? And just strange old chemical stuff, but that kind of looks like... Chemical stuff, lie detector... Mushrooms, okay. I'm sure, like, some of this stuff is like the, you know, what was used to, God, what's the word? You know, to process the photos from the reel. Imagine it's more stuff like that rather than... Right, now, who's that? Nope, sorry. It's hard to tell from, you know, just like the black and white pictures, like, if that's maybe... Maybe most likely it's like a young picture, it's like a picture of young Cord, maybe? That's at least one thought. Yeah, maybe it's just, maybe that's a picture of Cord. It kind of looks like him, but black hair. Maybe it's because he was younger. We don't have a lot to go off of, but that's one thing. I'm trying to piece this together best I can. Oh. It looks like maybe she was waiting to talk to Cord, and then she decided to bail out. Just a second. And hey, you. So, yeah, you were going to talk to Cord, then you decided to bail. And so now this is her... And this was another scene that confused a lot of people. Like, what was this scene and what did it mean? Because it was not entirely clear. You know, I suppose the point, you know, it seems obvious, but, you know, it's just like a little odd. You know, you're throwing away the evidence of your investigation. And for some reason, she gives us back the LSD. This is another weird thing. I can see her, like, maybe she saw us putting it in this bat, or in the envelope. You know, maybe she saw us put that away, in the office. And so she decided to swipe it from us so we didn't do it. But, you know, I guess, like, I have this back. Better you be incriminated than me. Saturday. Final day. Yeah, that should be pretty clear, like, he's not happy. And that was just more of a foreboding thing than anything. And again, that must be... Okay, so we put the plants up in a couple of different spots. I suppose it's a fun little detail, but not much else. Anyways. So, yeah, I'm guessing that picture up on the crazy wall there was a picture of Cord. Must have been. It certainly fits the narrative the most. Let's put the plants all over. Dead road? What is this? Oh, we got the train. Okay, I guess. Yeah, so if we interact with stuff, it just messes up Anne's apartment a little bit more, which is interesting, it's just weird. And not totally clear or important. Now this is confusing because we are clearly awake, and yet the mayor run-up and that guy are with them. So that can't be fake, right? That's not imagination. Because, you know, there's... Well, also, you know, that could be imagination, because Anne's slipping a bit. Again, we saw an ominous red light in a cavern. Yeah, again, pretty early on, like, it makes it pretty clear, like, okay, this is where hallucinogenic dreams happen. This is now real life, but now they're blending the two in, so maybe that was just a... I don't freaking know. Oh, Jesus. Just cracked my neck really hard, and it felt my whole arm shake. Just gotta tingle through everything. Okay, so... she's just contemplating, and I think clutching that, we're in the alternate, or, you know, bad ending, if you will, where she's decided, you know what, I want to talk, let's go. I want to talk, I'm going to clutch my guilt harder until it cuts into my own palm. Maybe that's why he just, like, lets us out. This is the imagination part of, like, here's what the future will look like. Again, very strange, but, you know, what other explanation is there? This part is a fantasy at the very least, but, you know, hits on, you know, what's really gonna happen here. Cord McCarran. C. McCarran. Behind all this. Promoted. And again, you know, I kind of like this ending, quote unquote, because it's so grim. And it's like we sold out a friend and now we're rising up, and bit by bit we'll see like it just gets better and better for her, although it just, you know, makes her alone, which is a dark but very like fitting end in one regard. Hey, bud, you're the first one screwed. Oh, and I saw the cactus on his desk. That's why he gifts us his cactus. Oh, that's cool. Let's have a little model train set of our own. That's kind of nice. I know I'm gonna answer just looking around at stuff. We got the apartment clean for once. And there's our guilt sitting right on our bed. Or right by the bedside. I'm just looking around at stuff. Hey, bud, that's why you just give us your desk you give us the desk cactus. I was keeping an eye out for other faces, because... Okay. We ate a chip, I think last time we just drank. Did it change anything? Is our judgment less clouded now? Skip that page. Yeah, so it's just like time to rat out the next friend. You want your cactus back? Yeah, and again, I kind of like this mainly because it's so grim. And, you know, the majority... We'll get into it. Just let it play out for a second longer. Unless I notice something different. One after another. Oops. And now... Yeah, now we're the boss. Cord's finally retired. And I saw somebody, you know, on Reddit talking that, you know, this must be, you know, it's trying to be commentary about, like, you know, the FBI in general and racial profiling, where, you know, your white boss gives your player character, a minority, a job to basically snitch on another minority and investigate her. And then... over and over again, mainly most of the people, that Anna sent to investigate that we see are, you know, other minorities. Muslim, I think one guy was Indian based on his look. This lady looks Asian, and, you know, we may be, you know, the boss now, but we're doing the same thing Cord did, just setting up our own underlings to take each other down. Which that was, you know, I can see it, it's a compelling argument. And then the guy I read this just like, oh, your white boss is making you do this. And, you know, it's all about commentary. And it's the SJW propaganda that's doing this. It's like, are you kidding, guy? You were onto something and you had to be a dickhole about it. So it's just sort of like, that was odd. It's just like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. And he was so upset that that was his interpretation. It's like, god damn, guy. But, you know, seems at least mostly accurate. And yeah, Maria just does not have her mother's memento anymore. But that's the one ending. Now we get to the really confusing part. No, we're not going the bad route. We're going on the side of good, the light side. We're going to help a friend out because that's what a good person does. And now I'm going to take drugs in a jail cell. Yeah, now this is like another thing where, you know, when things are unclear in certain spots or you do other things, that's fine. And then usually the point where everyone loses their mind, from what I was reading, is this, where we just do drugs and then the rest of the game is just like hallucinations that kind of make sense, but not really. So let's see with what I've been reading and what I know in what I'm reanalyzing, maybe can make it more make more sense. So yeah, again, this part is just strange, and it's usually what a lot of what I was reading, it's hard to get over this whole situation. And if they were like really invested and were really interested in like, okay, that seemed usually it's what usually I said is the usual responses are sort of like, that's the bad ending, that's self-explanatory. This is the good ending where you give, Maria her locket back. I don't understand why in the world she would then take the drugs, I guess, you found earlier and stole off a kid, or stole off that punk teenager, or why you do that in the first place, and then it just gets really confusing from here on out. That's usually the response. Like, it turns from, like, a very grounded, maybe a little trippy detective story, and then turns into, like, the last section just becomes, like, esoteric symbolism that does not quite work as well as maybe the developers think. That's the response I've usually seen across Steam, Reddit, as much as I don't like to check Reddit, and, other forums talking about what happened in the game. Yeah, and this... Yeah, I don't know. Is that just supposed to be like... like the stone face of the statue? Or maybe... Yeah, because that cave was blocked off, so we did not... This is not real, basically. Well, we know it's not real, we're tripping. Right? And there's the closet again. The closet door, and, it'll make sense in a bit what the closet actually means. Right, then we get this, and this is what, made me lose track of the story. This whole scene of, cultists and everything. Which this brings, people trying to interpret this. This is just... The interpretation is this is the dark underbelly of the FBI. This is the corruption that Judith was trying to suss out, but she got dragged down for looking too deeply. And so, this whole, cultist thing is meant to symbolize that, corrupt underbelly. And more often than not, well, actually all often, everyone is wearing white or, they're white under the skin. It's the... with one exception, which that's us, it's these white people that are all in on it, have some kind of sway in the town, and, are given the advantages to get them ahead to have these positions of power, is the thought. And meanwhile, the one black person here is actually Anne, and so what we're trying to do... or what Anne's trying to do is, it's like, oh, is she going to join this circle as well? Well, maybe, but we're trying to stop it. And the bison, maybe, is symbolic for Judith. hold on. Sheriff. Okay. So, yeah. Now, because it's Anne's hands, but we're seeing the perspectives of different characters. So we got this guy, this sheriff, who we've seen a couple of times, but I don't remember... Taft? I'm trying to remember if that name means anything. Hartley Taft. Yeah, who's this guy? Does he mean anything? I'm gonna quickly grab my phone and, like, type in... Just keep a note of the name. Just a second. Sorry, I'm going here. Virginia game. Wait a second. Oh. Maybe he's a reference to the Taft-Hartley Act? I don't know. Okay, yeah, no idea what that was supposed to be about. Yeah, no idea who that guy was supposed to be about, what he was doing. And this, if I recall, this is the mayor, or, you know, the mayoral candidate, who just seems bummed out. Maybe because his kid got arrested and that's ruined his prospects. That makes sense. Right, so that's Cord. Emenger? Or wait, no, that's not Cord. No, that's not Cord. What? Oh, sorry, my bad. Emenger. Who's that? Wait, we've seen this guy. But it didn't really solve anything. We've seen that guy a couple of times. For some reason, I kind of thought he was like a time skip version of Cord's son, maybe, but okay, you know, son, vet. Who are we playing as if we're taking the baby? Then, yeah, cold, distant father, not affectionate, huge dick. Okay, now we're in the, you know, side of Cord. Yeah, I don't know what those two characters have to offer the story, if I'm being perfectly honest. And yeah, just Cord having an affair, maybe. And maybe that actually is Anne trying to, like, suck up farther in order to get, like, a promotion. At least in one version of the story. Oh, wait, no. Of course, that was the dad. Duh. And this is where Lucas finds out. So Lucas just started running. Maybe he didn't catch him. Then watch the door, though, because it's going to open a crack. And there's the girl. She was in the pictures with Lucas, or in a picture with Lucas at the beginning. So maybe she was just there with him when they discovered this? Like his girlfriend or something? Yeah, now we're in the perspective of Anne at the cultist. We've killed the bison, therefore, you know, symbolically we have killed Judith. Which actually, this isn't even Anne. Now that I think about it, this could be Dad. The mask is white on the inside. Yeah, we'll get to that. I suppose it's just Anne putting on makeup, another form of having a mask. I don't freaking know. I'm trying to interpret this best I can. Yeah, mask white on the inside, black on the outside, because it's hers! Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to get this figured out. I really am. And then just replaying scenes. So it was like the graduation. Okay. Now this... another confusing thing. Okay. So this must be... yeah, Father Anne. Now that hat makes more sense because, yeah, we saw that in one of our dreams. Yeah, this is Anne's dad. Sorry, this, you know, it seems pretty clear because the picture's right there, but it's just like we're bouncing through perspectives. How do I know it's right? But, okay, Anne's dad. And hey, Pops, we got into the FBI, just like you were. And he's not doing so good. And this is the heartbeat monitor we heard on the graduation day thing. And there's the guilt. Personified by a key. Yeah, sorry, trying to navigate, trying to go over stuff. I hope I'm making sense here, because I realize it sounds crazy as hell. Just checking something. Okay. So yeah, the red closet. Because that's where the secrets are hidden. There's the tape deck we saw at the beginning. And yeah, the box that we saw locked in the beginning. It's symbolic because the father, oh, right, turned it the wrong direction. The father closed the box in the beginning, and the daughter has opened it. He sealed the secrets away. She has revealed them. Or has she? And again, the thought seems to be, and it seems to be accurate, that Cord told Anne's dad, Papa Tarver, to, you know, investigate and rat out, Judith. So, he did, she got fired, probably left desolate and humiliated, and then, you know, Maria, embittered and probably coerced by Mom, or encouraged by Mom, to investigate the FBI herself. Well, you know, they probably knew, but, you know, they gotta give good reason to get her fired, so they had Anne do the same thing. But, so, dying wish maybe, after she graduated, you know, he just wanted to tell the secret to somebody. You know, and we don't know for sure if he's telling her to, you know, if he's telling her to burn it, or she's doing it herself, because maybe he feels guilty about it, obviously, to point it out, so he just has to tell somebody, and when he did, does he say, like, burn it so this evidence finally, like, dies with me? Or did Anne find it, realize what it meant, and then she decided to get rid of it so, you know, she could keep her career intact and not have it tainted by Dad's old actions? At least that's my thought. That's my thought process. And that feels, you know, accurate. It's very unclear. Now we got this BS. Sorry, so that's got to be Lucas. And again, I thought, like, maybe the dad had killed him and dragged him out here and buried him where the rocks are. That was my one thought. That's something I'm confused on, and... Yeah, now who is that? Is that Judith, maybe? There goes Lucas, you know, running closer to the military base where maybe he was gunned down. In thought. You know, maybe he just started running from Dad and that's kind of where he ended up. So that's one thought. And, you know, maybe that lady was Judith, you know, right at the end there. You know, as a symbolic way of saying, like, well, we're both rising up together. We were... yeah. I don't know. I'm trying my best to figure this out. Hey, you. And this must be just like sometime later they both just got let out. Mainly, they couldn't be detained. They were detained, but nothing more than that. We still have our FBI badge, so... maybe? Or maybe she left behind? I don't know. Going by the gas station again. There's a truck. Then farther down. Look out. And then, over on the road here. Yeah, that seems to be Lucas, but that, well... oh, god damn it. Well, maybe... Jesus Christ. Okay. So, I just realized, you know, some people say, like, you know, oh, that must be, you know, that's gotta be Lucas, and that's him running away. Well, he can't, he's gotta be dead, and that just must be, you know, you hallucinating again, because he ran to the, you know, he ran into the base, he was never seen again, he was still missing, and he's got his guitar case, which we know was left behind. Or, at least the guitar was. I don't remember. God damn it, I gotta check something real quick. But, you know, we'll just dough him. I think that's for doing this, finishing this twice. I feel like I still missed a bunch. Okay, credits are done. We'll get there. We get the points. We've been over it again. I can check something real quick. End titles, departure. It's a long finishing chapter. Okay. Hold on. Back to... gas stop is a separate chapter. Sorry, just checking something real quick. So yeah, but people go like, Lucas must be dead and that's just a hallucination, because, you know, you just can't, you know, he's got luggage that he could not have possibly have gotten with. And, you know, how many days, a week's gone by and he's barely gotten out of town? So, you know, doesn't accurate, but also, she was driving and she swerved to give him space, so someone must have been there. Ugh, Jesus. So, yeah, I don't freaking know. I'm trying. I really am. And also, if there was, you know, unless the army's covering it up, you know, somebody was shot and killed, a child was shot and killed by the military at the Air Force Base, you'd think somebody would have, you know, said something about it. Again, unless it was part of a cover-up. So I just want to check something real quick. I just want to check in Lucas's room real quick, because at the very least we saw his guitar, I think, was there, but not the guitar case. So maybe You know, I saw somebody say, like, that's an hallucination because there's no way he could have the luggage because we saw in his room that the case was left behind. But I go, like, I thought it was just the guitar. So, going back to check. This is all I want to find out. Because it must be, you know... Can't even turn a light on in these rooms. Yeah, but then there's also... Where is she? There's that girl. Who is that? Or is that just the mom, now that I think about it? No, no. No, yeah, his guitar's here, but, you know, we don't see a case. Maybe he had it with him, or he had it somewhere else. Is that the mom? I don't think it is. Hold on, gotta check something else again. Wait, no, cancel. Yeah, I don't know. Is that picture of the mom? I don't think it is. I could be misremembering. It just didn't seem like... Okay, sorry. I think this is the, you know, nighttime sleepy thing. I'm just rambling at this point. Because I don't know. So the kid's got an obsession with UFOs and aliens. And we just imagine he got abducted because we have no other solution for what happened on this case. Yeah, I suppose, maybe? That the picture was the mom? Hold on a second, one more thing. Maybe the hair's kind of similar, but it's not as pointy as it is on the edges? The images part 2. Sorry, I'm just going over things one more time. Okay, I thought it just crashed. No, yeah, but if this is a separate girl, because we see her in the door there, and I don't think it's the mom, and if she really was just standing there, then again, we're also just hallucinating. We're tripping balls right now. So I don't freaking know, you know? God, her hands look like a skeleton every time. Yeah, I don't know, I just have no idea. Some of these things just don't add up. You know, who knows? Lucas could have ran, and he could have escaped into, you know, the bay, or the... Yeah, that must be the mom, I think. Yep, sorry. Must be, it's just her hair looks so pointy compared to, you know, everything else. Sorry, I'm focusing on this because I'm just trying to be sure that there isn't like another character that goes unexplained. And I have no idea what was up with like the Taft guy or what is it? The McGregor, whatever the third guy's name was. The guy who wouldn't hug his son. Must have been his son. I suppose were we just seeing scenes of like bad dads in order to compare to like to Anne's, who seemed like a sweet old man, but also has a dark past. I don't freaking know. I'm trying, man. I'm trying, everybody. But okay, sorry. While I'm going off on this tangent, so that was Virginia once again. How is it? It's honestly kind of better on the second playthrough, although I'm it's still, you know, you gotta do a lot of legwork to figure out this story, you know? Yeah, maybe it was her? Sorry, I don't mean to hang up on this. I'm just trying to be sure. She seems taller than Lucas, so maybe it's, yeah, maybe it's just the mom, and I'm overthinking this. I go, like, is it another girl we just have not seen before? I don't freaking know. Okay. But yeah, second time around, taking contacts, taking perspectives, and trying to, like, really think about, like, you know, trying to dig a little deeper. There are some things that work, and there are some other things that just, like, aren't lining up as well as I'd like, considering how much information there. Okay, that must be the mom. Okay, case closed. I just thought it was somebody else. It was hard to tell. I go, like, that's just someone else. That was just in my mind. That's how it was going. There's one more thing I'm going to check here. So let's pull up Judith's information again. Because, yeah, that's the other weird thing is, like, you know, the alien abduction, and that must have been, you know, Luke and Judah, or, Judith, which, why those two need to be associated with each other? This makes everything more complicated. You know, unless the point is just, like, you know, two people, you know, okay, I don't know. Yeah, it looks like her just going back, trying to compare the best I can. Yeah, and just in that picture now, seeing all, like, the chemicals, or chemistry stuff. So, you know, that room was just her lab. Okay, so I'm just trying to compare pictures, and it seems like, yeah, it was Judith, who came out of the alien spaceship and approached Lucas. And, you know, the chapter's called Departure, which that could just be a sign of... Which that could just be a sign that it meant, like, Lucas... Because, again, if the red bird is still symbolizing Lucas, who has been out of our grasp for most of the game, you know, by departure, you know, maybe he really is just gone. Maybe he ran. Maybe he didn't even get gunned down. Maybe he just hid for a couple of days, you know, until the heat died down, and then finally found his way back out, grabbed his guitar case, and ran. And, you know, maybe he was just laying low for a couple of weeks. Or, you know, laying low for a couple of days. So I'm going through these scenes over and over again. Okay, yeah, that's definitely Judith. Just looking at the figure again. That's the confusing thing. Well, it's also a hallucination. So we're tripping, and, you know, our solution is just like Judith going off with Lucas, which we're just going, you know, we're just tripping, so maybe that just symbolizes, you know, her leaving just in general, or, you know, her passing. Maybe it's symbolizing, like, yeah, you're coming with me, you're dead too. I don't know. Because it just, like, I don't know. It's just like, the game, okay, again, going over Virginia again, it's a really compelling story, it is. It's just like, you know, you're an FBI agent, and you're looking for a missing kid in this little town, that you're also investigating your partner, and, you know, it's hit and miss on, like, what you're actually doing, and that's a compelling story. But then there are these threads that just seem to go nowhere, like Taft, and, you know, and, you know, who knows, that guy, Harley Taft, and after I'm looking at it, Yeah, maybe he's a reference to Taft-Hartley Act. Hartley? Anyways, that restricts activities of and power of labor unions. It was, yeah, restricts activities and power of labor unions. Wait, no, maybe, what? Okay, I'm confused. Whatever the hell. Yeah, but she gave him room to walk. So that implies there was somebody walking. Maybe it was Lucas. But he had his guitar case, which we never saw that. We just saw the guitar. I'm trying here. I'm really trying to figure this out. And, you know, I'm done guessing. And again, there are some really cool things to this. The story initially is, like, really compelling. Trying to figure out, like, you know, doing your job, well, you know, doing your job and doing your real job of investigating your own partner, and what that all means. Sorry. Oh, jeez. Okay. But, you know, figuring out, like, the connections and learning that little mystery, even though it's all spelled out for you, basically. But, like, you know, little character progression. And for no dialogue in a very, like, film-like way of telling the story, it kind of works in that regard. Where it's just like Anne trying to figure out, like, what's my place here? But then, yeah. And again, it's kind of like, you know, I like the director ending, if you will, the dark, bad ending, because it's dark and because it's sad and tragic. But then it keeps going. You know, it'd be one thing if we just, you know, if the game just ended at, you know, it would have been one thing. It's just like, no, you know, it cuts back like, oh no, that's the bad ending. I'm just gonna give her the locket, and then say it just like cuts back to departure, like the ending of that, where, you know, none of this. Get rid of chapters, what is it, 36 through 41, basically, and, you know, just like it puts Anne puts the locket down, and then it just cuts to the cafe where they're both free, and then they head off, and you see Lucas walking down the road. Honestly, that would probably be a better ending. That would be a better good ending, because, like, the water just gets so muddy and you know, it just gets so muddy when, you know, we got all these images where we're looking through a lot of people's perspectives that don't really connect, and it's all a drug trip, and, you know, it's so unreliable. You got this weird culty thing, which, again, if you break it down, and it makes sense that, like, you know, these, you know, white people with positions of power, you know, are kind of like symbolized as a cult, if you will. And, you know, Anne's the only black person there. And, you know, is she gonna follow this cycle, or is she gonna, like, you know, take the mask off and, you know, realize who she is, basically? And, yeah, I don't know, it just, like, it overcomplicates things in some parts, and, you know, I'm piecing it together, but, yeah, I don't know, it's just, Virginia has got, like, a lot of really cool, like, pieces to it. Like, you know, there's not much in the way of interactivity, and, you know, what little there is doesn't really go anywhere, but, you know, it's at least trying stuff, and it's kind of interesting, but just, like, going along with the story, even there's, like, not much I can do in the term of input except move it along, I'm fine with that, because it's kind of a compelling narrative, but it just, like, it puts too many pieces in front of you, and then it just, like, makes things way too complicated. So, you know, it's like, upward to the end, you get to the last, like, quarter of the game, and it feels just sort of like, okay, I'm almost done with this puzzle, and then it gets tossed to the side, and you're given, like, the same puzzle, but a lot more pieces, and, you know, it just, like, restarts your work, and it's just, like, it's really weird, and I think I'm interpreting the symbolism that they're going for, and, you know, looking at people who are, you know, way more into it than me, thinking they got it figured out, but there's still some things that don't add up. You know, did Lucas get shot at the base and that's why he never came back? Or did he just, like, hide there for a couple of days and then just walk out? Because people are still confused. Like, is Lucas dead and that's just a hallucination you see on the road? It can't be, because you know, Anne's hallucinating, Maria is not, and she gives him room to walk. She goes around him. You know, that's a very important detail, and I don't think I'm looking too far into it. You know, they make it a point that Maria sees somebody on the road and is moving aside. Maybe that's just a random guy taking a hike. Maybe it's actually Lucas. Who knows? Because that's the other thing, is a lot of things make sense, you know, going through a second time. There is a divide between, you know, they make it a pretty obvious divide. Like, Anne goes home at night, she's sleeping. There's a pretty consistent divide between, like, what's reality and what's, like, fantasy. And then they start intertwining the two around the time you go hunting for the locket, and it just, that, you know, kind of messes, you know, dishevels everything. So, yeah, Virginia has a lot of merit. It really does. And for a walking sim, it's a compelling story. But I can see either I'm overthinking this too damn much, or it gets confused, and I don't know. This is where, again, usually whenever a lot of the things I've been reading where people are, like, really interested in the story, what usually happens is they get to that final, like, quarter of the game, and then they get lost. They just get too overwhelmed by weird, you know, unexplained symbolic meaning, and then, like, it just kind of, like, derails the rest of the story, and it just changes. It gives you too much information that it does not explain. And, you know, for having no dialogue, they do some interesting stuff, but it was just kind of like at the end there where it's like, we gotta have somebody say something, because we just, like, need a little help figuring out, like, where these pieces go. And we just never really get that. So, you know, a second playthrough has certainly helped, like, piece the story a little bit more together. I feel like I at least have a better idea of the narrative, like, the power cord abused in convincing, you know, his own people to tear each other apart. Anne's dad, Papa Tarver, I keep referring him to that just because he has no name, but Old Man Tarver did that to Judith, and now daughter like father, Anne's gonna do it to Maria. But, you know, the difference is Maria decides, like, you know, I can't carry Dad's guilt and mine anymore. I gotta do the right thing for this person. If I lose my job, that's just what happens. And, you know, maybe being a good person is better than being part of a obviously corrupt system. And, you know, there's something to that. And yeah, it's just like, but no matter what, like, the case with Lucas always goes unsolved, and, you know, we don't even know if he's alive or not. So it's just like, yeah, I don't know. It's just like, there's a lot of cool stuff here, and I do give credit to, God, what was the name now? I'm trying to think of the company. Sorry, wait. It was in there. Right. But, no, it's like, you know, this is a very interesting game, and for a walking sim, you know, I can see why people, like, talk it up, but it does overcomplicate things, and just a little more clarity in some parts, and I think I'm explaining things correctly. I think. I just don't know if, like, I'm necessarily, like, explaining the interpretation correctly. Still have no idea what was up, like, with the observatory and, like, the private event, unless it was just, like, a campaigning thing for that so-called mayor and it didn't turn out well after his son got arrested. Or, you know, maybe he was housing the cult meeting, if you will, which seemed to be the case because, you know, that was all taking place in the observatory, but doesn't mean it wasn't real, so it's just, like, more interpretation. And, you know, there's something to be said, like, it's fun to interpretate stories like this, but when, like, the answers are, like, so close and not yet there, like, it's my problem with Dear Esther. It's just sort of like, you know, it's like the solution is never quite right. You got a puzzle, and then, like, the nubs are shaved down a little bit. You can complete it, but it just feels like, you know, it's not as satisfying because, like, the picture has so many holes in it. At least that's how I feel. But, okay, I better wrap up because my voice is starting to go. I gotta eat, and then I got other stuff to do. But, yeah, with that all being said, yeah, Virginia is a very interesting game, and I, you know, at least, I've only played a couple, but it's certainly up there. But yeah, I just like wish for a little more clarity, like I think a lot of people feel about this game. It's just like a lot of really good stuff here, but it loses you on the last quarter because just like things are too obscure and too symbolic, and it just kind of like loses itself. At least, yeah. I've been rambling. I think we'll wrap up. So yeah, hopefully that didn't get caught on mic. Never mind. I'll vote add anything. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna stop here. So yeah, Virginia, definitely worth 2 playthroughs if you're still trying to figure stuff out. And apparently I've still missed a ton of interactive stuff. I guess there's like 10 collectible feathers. Don't know where those might have been. But I tried. I think I got this. I think I'm good. But yeah, Virginia, interesting. Maybe, you know, get it yourself if you want to interpret it even further. See if you can figure it out better than I can. I still recommend it. And I think this was on the... What is this? I think this is one of the cheaper walking sims you can get these days. This is either $10 or... Usually the walking sims, at least the ones I've been playing, have been ranging between the $10 and $20 mark. So I think this was 10. So it's worth giving a shot if you just want like a very interesting, you know, 2-hour experience. But yeah, it's just like trying to figure out the story just like is a lot harder the more you play. Now that I think about it, looking at the map, yeah, you're heading into the tunnel. So yeah, Lucas might be on his way to like Washington, D.C. on foot. I don't know, maybe. Okay. Alright, better wrap up here. So yeah, with that all being said, thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed, like and subscribe and all that. This is Timmara, signing off, and thank you for watching me play Virginia.